Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Kirti, and I warmly welcome you all to this exciting webinar hosted by Luneblaze, focusing on SQAAF Domain 2 infrastructure. I am truly delighted to see you all joining us today. Before beginning with the session, let me introduce you all to Luneblaze. Luneblaze have been dedicatedly involved in accreditation services for 8+ years, working closely with more than 100 schools, ensuring that they maintain and enhance their quality in education. Accreditation is a formal recognition process that verifies an educational institution's adherence to established standards, ensuring quality and credibility in education. Mandating accreditation for all CBSE schools, CBSE has introduced the SQAAF framework for schools. Well, Luneblaze is here to be your SQAAF implementation partner, supporting schools in making their accreditation journey automated and seamless, therefore ensuring compliance with CBSE standards and enhancing educational quality. We at Luneblaze also organize monthly training sessions focused on various domains of SCORE, aiming to provide educators with suggestions for improvement of each and every subdomain and standard of SCORE, opportunities to connect with other educators, providing a platform where your connection with peer educators can enhance your teaching strategies to meet the evolving needs of students and education, and expert guidance from our esteemed expert speakers who have been outshining in this field of education for years. Now, let me take a moment to introduce our honorable expert speaker for this particular session, Dr. Abhishek Sharma. Dr. Abhishek Sharma brings 24 years of extensive experience with CBSE, CAIE, IB, and ICSE boards. As a certified CBSE trainer, he has trained more than 14,000 teachers in life skills, assessment and pedagogy, and cyber safety and security. Dr. Sharma is an award-winning educator, honored with the Nation Builder Award 2022, 100 Highly Effective Principals Award 2019, and Siksha Padam Award 2024. He has collaborated internationally with the British Council on projects like connecting classrooms and ILC, and participated in educational exchanges in countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and UK. We are feeling privileged to have Dr. Sharma sharing his deep insights on Domain 2 with us. But before forwarding it to Dr. Sharma, let us first outline the sequence of this webinar. We will have a brief yet valuable recap of SCORE covering all its 7 domains sequentially. Secondly, we will start with a concise overview of Domain 2 infrastructure, the focusing point of this webinar. Following that, we'll analyze its subdomains, exploring their standards and benchmarking statements and their significance, along with offering suggestions for their improvement. Next, we'll conduct a short Q&A session where Dr. Sharma will share their valuable insights by addressing a few of the questions from all participants. Following that, we'll move to a concluding session where we will summarize all the key points discussed from Domain 2. And afterward, we'll have a look at the latest CBSE circular regarding SCORE. Then we'll explore how Luneblaze assists schools in implementing SCORE. We'll look into SCORE, the webinar series regularly organized by Luneblaze. And lastly, we'll conclude with a brief Q&A session where all your questions will be addressed one by one, followed by a thank you slide marking the end of the session. After outlining the sequence of the webinar, I encourage everyone to participate actively and ask questions. Please feel free to utilize the Ask a Question feature for asking all your questions. Stay tuned until the end for details about feedback forms and participation certificates. With all that said, let's welcome Dr. Abhishek Sharma. The webinar is yours, sir. Please take it further.
Thank you, Ms. Kirti. And it was really a wonderful introduction, and I'm very happy, to be the part of this webinar. Uh, Good evening, everybody, one and all present here. My wonderful, educators and those who are doing wonderful job in the education sector. I really extend once again a wonderful good evening to all of you. Let's start our session, and I'll be, starting my session talking a little about SQAAF. Basically, popularly it is known as SQA, without F. So SQA is basically School Quality Assessment and Assurance with a added F, that is framework. When all these things comes together, so that becomes a framework. It's woven together, and we come up with a framework. Now, when we talk about SQAAF, so let me take you, a little back to the history of SQAAF. I'm not talking about when it was introduced, right? But definitely, I'm here to talk about why it has been introduced. So, as you are all aware that the CBSE is going through lots and lots of changes, and in these changes, the major change that we have seen in our education sector after so long is the new education policy 2020. Now, when we talk about new education policy, it talks about lots and lots of things, and I'm not here to, talk about new education policy, because I am sure that you must be aware of new education policy. So, but definitely, I would say here that new education policy is definitely a wonderful change that the education sector has seen. Now, the thing is that, lots and lots of points have been mentioned in new education policy, and then there was a national curriculum framework which has been made. Then we have got NCRF also. Now, the bigger question comes here, that how do we check the quality, whether what we are doing is right or wrong? How do we check whether are actually on track? How do we check that we are taking all the stakeholders together and moving ahead towards the wonderful quality in teaching learning process? So this is how the SQAAF has been introduced. So I would say, SQA and SQAAF both are correct, but it's actually SQA with added F, that is framework. So when we talk about SQAAF, what basically it aims to, it is basically School Quality Assessment and Assurance Framework. It basically is a set of best practices as paradigm for attaining individual and institutional excellence. Now, when we talk about individual excellence and institutional excellence, I'm sure that both are interwoven, because if the individual of an institution is trained, I'm sure definitely this individual is going to contribute to the institutional growth. This is what is the purpose basically, and we talk about four important ingredients, where four important parameters, important pillars on which this SQA works. So first, pillar, first, parameter we can talk is the self-reflection. Now, what is this self-reflection? Reflection is one process where we prepare a list of checklists, and then we tick it whether we are on track or not. Say, for example, when we do something, we always prepare a checklist. For example, we are going to purchase we are going to go for the purchase of the grocery, or we are going to go somewhere outstation. We prepare a checklist where we'll go first, what we'll do. So this is a kind of self-reflection where we prepare a checklist. We'll talk in detail about all these, right? So first comes the self-reflection. Then comes the innovation, because education is not all about explaining what is written in the chapter or what is there in between the lines. It is all about creating the innovative minds. And even the CBSE new education policy talks about inquiry based education. So what is this inquiry based education? Why inquiry based education is being promoted? The purpose is only one, that we do not want just the followers, we want the innovators. Then comes the collaboration. Collaboration is one area where everybody comes together, contribute. All the stakeholders, they come together and they contribute, towards the quality education and making the teaching learning process a memorable and a happy one. And last but not the least, I would include in here that accountability. So I would, tell you a story. So if you are interested in a story, please write in the chat box story. And in the meanwhile, I'll, start the story. So there was one, person, there who was approx, aging 40 years, and he came back to the school to the headmaster and said, Mr. Headmaster, I want all my money back because I did not really learn anything in the school. And whatever is being taught, I did not really understood anything, and I do not have a job. I do not have a family. Nobody likes me, and I cannot do anything in the life. So the moral of the story is that who is accountable? What is going on there in the school? What teaching learning process is going on there in the school? What we do in the classes? What all efforts we are putting into our classes? Anybody, is held accountable? So yes, now this education system, includes the accountability as an integral part. So these are the four important parameters, and I would say the four important pillars on which this SQAAF is based on. Okay, now the question comes. Although it's too early to ask the question, but yes, the question comes: are you ready with the SQAAF? Are you ready with the documentation process? And are you ready in case if the CBSE appoints somebody as an inspector for SQAAF? The question comes here, and it's a very, very important question because now all the CBSE, affiliated schools, they are going to be filling this SQAAF compulsorily. It is compulsory. So are you ready with? All right, let's move on to the next slide.
So before further beginning with the session, it would be great if you can consider the raised hands also. There are so many raised hands.
Okay, so can you help me with this?
I would like to request that everyone who are raising their hands can put their queries and questions in the chat box.
Okay.
And we will try our best to answer these. Okay, sir, we can continue with this session.
So, I would request all, everybody here that please, save your questions, for the question answer session. We'll be more than happy to have your questions because, this 1 hour session is really, really important because, education is something which is not from one side. We can learn from each other, and that is the purpose of conducting this webinar. So I'll be very, very happy to address all the questions, so please keep your questions and please put your hands down right now because hardly we have started, our session. So let's have all the question answer session and let's have a good mind spanning, session at the, closing of our, important slides. Okay, so we'll take, question answers at the end of the session, and we'll give sufficient time, for the question answer session. All right, so let's move on to the vision and objective. Now, the vision, when we talk about why this SQAAF, has come into existence, I think I have already, given the detail why this SQAAF has come into existence. So it basically talks about to improve quality, education to students through standardized instruments and processes of self-evaluation and external assessment benchmarks in the concept, establishment, and running of effective system within an institution organization in accordance with changing socio-economic and cultural context. See, world is changing very fast, right? And now we are not creating, the local citizens, we are creating the global citizens, and our education standard has to match the international standard is what is the purpose. And there should be a cross-check list also that we are actually on track and we are doing the right things or not. So this is what is the vision, and the mission and the objective is very, very clear to attain the perfection. Whatever we are doing, whatever the recommendations of new education policy, NCRF, NCF. So all these things are actually, we are implementing, or are we in the, right direction of implementing these changes? So this is what comes the objective of SQAAF. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is something very, very important part of our presentation, because it talks about in journal about the SQAAF. So total we have got 7 number of domains here available. Now these 7 domains I'll explain in a little detail why it is important, and then we'll move on to our domain today. The topic of the day is that is infrastructure. So let's talk about yes. So I'll tell you SAFAL is what. SAFAL I'll explain a bit later, right? Please, I would request Miss Kirti to note down these questions, and I'll definitely answer all these questions, right? Because these questions are very, very important, and all these things are interwoven. Okay, all right. So we'll take in the first, domain here. So total, we have got 7 domains. We have got total subdomains, that is 49. That is 49, and total number of standards or the benchmarking statements. Madam Ghosh, I'll answer your question at the end of the session. I'll be very happy in case if you can save this question for the last. So let's continue with our presentation. Let's finish our session, and then after I'll definitely take your question. I'll be very happy to take your question. Right. So when we talk about 7 domains, total number of 7 main domains are there. Total number of subdomains are 49. Then we have got total number of standards, that is 84, and the weightage comes to 100%. Can you see the pie chart there? And this pie chart talks about 40%. That is a very, very important and integral part of our SQAAF, that is curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. So why we are in the school? We are basically in the school for the curriculum, pedagogy, and assessments, and finally at the day end, the child should be able to anything you would like to say, Miss Kirti?
No, sir, I was not saying anything.
Okay, all right. I'll continue. So, total, we have got 7 domains, and if you can see here that curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment, which is an important and integral part, covers 40% of our total 100%, criteria. Then we, go on to the infrastructure. Infrastructure plays, very important role, giving a conducive environment for everybody. All right. So one more thing, Miss Veena, I think, has raised a question regarding the voice. So I would say that, from my side, I am using a broadband, connection. So from my side, there is no net issue, but maybe you must have logged from your mobile or something. So there could be a, local level network issue. Please bear with it. I think, this is not there with everybody, so please bear with it. I think this is quite common. These kind of glitches are quite common. So we'll take all these. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak. Right. So infrastructure, covers 10%. Human resources cover 10%. Inclusive practices covers 10%. And if we add in inclusive practices with curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment, it covers 50%. That is a bigger area which is being given to the teaching learning process in the classes, making the child and the teacher as a heart of the learning process. And yes, this talks about the integration of the parents also. So let's talk, about the management. Management covers 10%. Leadership is 10%. Beneficiary satisfaction is one domain which is added. And, we were talking about who will take the responsibility, accountability. So this talks about the accountability. This talks about, yes, we will talk about SAFAL. Yes, we will definitely talk about SAFAL. At the end of the session, we will talk, right? So then, beneficiary satisfaction, because finally, I mean, nobody should be coming to the school principal and to the school management saying that I want the refund of my money because I did not, learn anything, as I shared in the story, right? So I think this is clear. And, today we are going to take infrastructure domain, where we have got total 12 subdomains. So, you can, take it as that main domains are the main heads, subdomains are the subheads, and standards are the basic, checklist. So this is how you can better understand it. And it covers approx 10%, not approx 10% of the total calculation of 100%. So why infrastructure is important? Let's move on to the next slide and we will see why infrastructure is very, very important. Now the question comes, why infrastructure is important? So infrastructure plays a very important role because, when we talk about infrastructure, what comes to your mind, approx? So infrastructure, when we talk about labs, we talk about library, we talk about classrooms, we talk about auditorium, medical room, green space, cafeteria, and all other areas, whatever you can think of for the assembly, for daily coming in and going out, any kind of thing, right? Which facilitates, which helps, which supports everybody, including the teachers in the class, and children, including teachers, class, and the parents, for the teaching learning process, that comes under infrastructure, right? So let's see the proper definition of infrastructure. So facilities provided by the school in the area of space, safety, safety requirements, health management, etc., ensuring the safety requirements and clean environment for all the students, right? So we'll explore more why, what, how, when. Okay, why good infrastructure? So is it really required for a good infrastructure? Yes, right. Because proper environment has to be there for the proper learning. Okay, so the question comes here, which part of your school infrastructure do you like the most and why? I would request all here to please participate, because this is not one-sided session. Please write your answers there in the chat box. So let's get involved in our session. This is just 1 hour session where we'll be exploring a lot about infrastructure domain. So please write your answer, which part of your school you really like the most and why. Please write in the chat. Oh, wonderful. Ground, stage. Okay, what else? Labs. Oh, science teacher, must be a science teacher, I'm sure. Okay, what else? Library. Wonderful, wonderful. Library, playgrounds, auditorium. Thank you so much. We have got a wonderful people here, and I really am blessed to take this session with all interactive interactive session, and all wonderful participants, those who are really contributing and really participating, right? Thank you for making this webinar a wonderful one by participating. Okay, auditorium, wonderful, thank you so much. Right, we'll move on to the next slide and we'll see which all things we can cover in the domains. Right, so in the main domain today we'll be taking the domain number 2, that is infrastructure, and under this domain we have got subdomains. So we have got total number of 12 subdomains here. So yes, smart boards, Seema, I think smart boards must be a IT teacher. Anyways, must be a computer teacher. So okay, so total we have got 12 domains here, and 2.1, 2.2 starting you get 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, ending with 2.11, 2.12. So it talks about classrooms, library. It basically covers all these important areas which are there under the main head, infrastructure. So these are the subheads, or you can call them as subdomains. So classrooms, libraries, laboratories, computer labs, etc. ICT facilities, and rooms with different activities. So this is covered in 2.1, 2.2 principal office, staff room, and administrative office. Do you really think that the principal office is required? It should be talked about in the infrastructure. Do you really require staff rooms? Yes, these are the areas which can take care. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful for your answers. Thank you so much. Right. Then we have got infirmary. Why infirmary is required? Is it a first aid room or infirmary? Is it a first aid room or infirmary? Yes, it is infirmary, right? It is basically taking care of the primary health of the children. Then water, sanitation, facilities, and waste management, furniture, lighting, ventilation, eco-friendly orientation, integration of organic living in curriculum. That is basically talking about environment-friendly, domain, right? Then we have got safety provisions, we have got playgrounds, we have got hostels, only for the schools which are residential. Then we have got school canteen, transportation. So these all 12 domains are there. We'll take one domain one time, and then we'll discuss, and then we'll talk about which all things are important, and which all things which all documents we need to create, and how the evidences should be created. So the point here is one, before we move on to the next part, that is the explanation of each subdomain. So we'll talk about one thing here, that do you really know that how to create the evidences, and on what basis we need to create the evidences? So these questions will all be addressed right as we move to the next slides. Next slide, please. All right. So when we talk about okay, so we'll take these questions, all these mind spanning questions at the end of our webinar. So there will be enough of time which will be provided, and we'll discuss in length. Okay, so when we talk about domain, subdomain, that is 2.1, it talks about the classrooms, library, laboratories, computer labs, ICT facilities, and with different activities. So it talks about sufficient classrooms for learning, because see, as a CBSE teachers, we all are aware that CBSE not only talks about the academics, scholastic part, but it talks about post-scholastic parts also. So we should be having enough of rooms for the dances, for performing arts, for cultural activities, for common programs, for different areas. So it is for teaching learning process, we should be having sufficient learning space. Then we should be having a library supported education. We can always go with the wonderful library, and during the affiliation also, as you can see, that library is an integral part of the affiliation process. We need to give the details of the library. Then it covers the labs for hands-on experience. Yes, the government is focusing, new education policy is focusing, NCRF is focusing, teachers, schools, everybody is focusing on hands-on experience, because learn by doing is something very, very important. Then we talk about the ICT facilities for admin and education, activity room for the arts. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so come to the previous slide, please. Previous slide, yes. So when we talk about having all these rooms, so shuffle can be talked at the end of the session. We can always talk about the shuffle also in short, in context to ICT facility and the education system. That new education system which talks about having the examinations in grade 5 and 8, and they are also trying to have some examinations in grade 3. So that we'll talk about. So IT infrastructure is a very important part, and after COVID, I think everybody agrees here that after COVID, we cannot simply do away with the computers or the mobiles or the internet. Now that has become the integral part of not only our lives, but yes, the lives of our children also. And when we talk about the activity arts, so art integration is a very, very important part of new education policy, and sports integration is there, art integration is there. So this all talks about all these things. Okay, let's move on to the next slide, and it talks about basically how do we basically rate how do we basically talk about how do we give the ratings? So ratings basically, like it goes on 2.1.1.1, so that goes on level 1, inceptive. 2.1.1.2, so that is transient, stable, and dynamic evolving. You can understand it this way, that you can if you are at an initial stage where you have got the plans and you have already started using it, but you are not very sure whether it is going to, but yes, you have already started, you can always go for inception, is level 1. And if your systems are already working, the school uses additional spaces for meaningful student learning experiences process, so then it can be termed as transient. Level 3 is stable, where the system is already been introduced and everybody's available, everybody's made available with this system, and they are very, very clear about this system. There is an inclusion of ICT facilities in the classroom, infrastructure is upgraded, and as and when it is required, I mean, depending on the requirement, and teachers are also trained. So this also talks about the stable environment. And dynamic evolving is something where we cannot stop saying that we are the best. We need to evolve continuously. So this is called as dynamic evolving, where we whatever we have planned, whatever we have implemented, there is always a scope of adding, there's always a scope of improvement. So this talks about the dynamic evolving. All right, we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so when we talk about sufficient classroom for learning environment, and I stopped there, so I was waiting for this slide to come. So when we talk about sufficient classrooms for learning, do you really think that we can have 2 classes sitting in one classroom, one space, and the teaching learning process can be good? Do you really think that all the activities can happen only in one space? Yes, absolutely, Madam Nirupama. So it's absolutely, yes, absolutely. I agree with all of you. So we have to have the additional spaces where all these activities can happen, and the children can also learn it effectively, because environment plays a very, very important role. So there should be a learning spaces. When we talk about classroom is not confined. Basically, the classroom is not confined to the classes where the children are sitting. It could be any area where learning process is happening. So this is how we can say that there should be enough of. I'll take on 2 suggestions out of these available suggestions here. So we can have the IT integration by learning management system, which makes easy for everybody to access the course material. And I'm here going to introduce a word. Please write down this word, that is MOOC. MOOC. So this is something which is integral part. Yes, absolutely, MOOC. So MOOC means massive open online courses which are available, and even government is planning to have this kind of classrooms where the children, those who are not able to attend the classes, they can have it online, so that they should not be missing with the content. Absolutely, MOOC, and the complete full form is massive open online courses. Thank you so much, Madam Neeta, for writing for everybody. So thank you, wonderful. You have written for everybody. Thank you so much. Yes. So then we can we can have these MOOCs, and we can have these online courses where after completion of these courses you can have the certification also, and it's recognized. So whenever we'll be discussing on NCRF, I'll definitely take you with the learning and the number of credits which will be given in the in each learning. Then we can have these MOOCs are available on Google platforms, then Microsoft Teams there, Zoom is there, then we have got this Infosys Springboard is there. Lots and lots of learning platforms are made available, and these learning platforms, and some of the platforms are directly related with the government, and government is making it available for everybody. So classroom is now no more confined to only one space, but yes, classroom. So in case if you want to go for the MOOCs, you should be having one different space with the IT infrastructure complete in that place with the internet connection. Then we can have introduction of digital ebooks. So when we talk about infrastructure, when we talk about the classrooms for learning, it is not only confined to the class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. It is all the areas wherever the children are going, right, and they are learning. So all that infrastructure is definitely required here. So I'll move on to the next slide here. And yes, thank you so much. So library is something very, very important. And, why library has to be there? Because, it's been said, books are the best friend of a humans. So I don't know whether you agree or not, but yes, that is still true, because, nowadays children are on to, online. They have got the websites, they have got different platforms where they can learn. But library is really needed, because once you get attached, initially it is really difficult to get attached with the books, but finally when we get attached with the books, and I'm sure that you really like it, it doesn't matter if anybody's there with you or not, but yes, books are always there with you and they'll definitely guide you properly. That's why a book is something very important, and books are available there in library. So library is very important, and that's an integral part of our affiliation process also. So here it basically see, when we read different books, we get different ideas, and we can explore that which ideas can work with me, and the further research can be done on those ideas. Okay, so here are a couple of suggestions for the library to create the evidences. So you can always have, teachers can provide bonus reading points to the students, at our times different schools, like different strategies they implement. You can implement any of the strategies, but it should be foolproof. Make sure that 4 stages you need to check whether at what stage you are working. Yes, absolutely, we can have the e-library also. This is, I said that anywhere wherever the learning is happening, it is not confined to one specific area. But even if to access the e-library, we should be having an IT infrastructure in place. That is, the computer is required, a proper computer, proper software is required. Even the government has released the digital library also, where you can find all sort of books. So, any kind of books, you can go with, but library has to be, in its place. Teacher students can be awarded, as reading, reader for the month. So there can be a record of, which all books teachers, which all books students they are issuing and reading. And, the librarian can always ensure to, ask the teacher or the child to submit a small note about the book, what exactly. Yes, physical library has more significant than e-library. No, I think, because see, I honestly, if I, confess, I'm a bad reader with the, library, but I'm very good reader with the, e-library. So it depends. It depends individual, but yes, we should be reading. So library arrangements are to be proper. Then we can always have library library day must be celebrated in the school to motivate the children and to donate, not only to donate, but to purchase also good books, right? Introducing these books to the children. And then, once they read it, they can always exchange among themselves, and they can always donate to the school library also, so that the other children can also get benefited out of it. All right, I think, we can move on to the next subdomain, standard. Okay. Here comes the labs for hands-on learning experience. And this is something, again, a very important part, because see, theory knowledge, most of the people, they are good at theory, but practicals, it takes really expertise. So slowly and gradually, and in Hindi, there is a idiom, karat karat abhyas te jadmati ho sujan, rasri yavat jaat te silpe parini. That means that we need to continuously keep on practicing, and we can gain expertise. Yes, absolutely. So we can get expertise and hands-on experience. So there should be a proper arrangement of the labs with the proper requirement. And up till grade 10, we have got a common lab. So this lab is called as what? Can you please write in the chat box? This lab is called as what? Okay, composite lab, I'll say. So this lab is called as composite lab in grade 11 and 12. We can have it. Yeah, no, it's composite lab. Yes. Yes, other labs are also there. I'm not denying that computer lab is not required. Computer lab is also required. Nowadays, entrepreneurial lab is also there. Lots of labs are there. So we are talking in general, right? But I asked about the science lab. So till grade 10, we have got a composite lab. Thank you so much for a wonderful response. Raj Lakshmi ji, Rupali ji, thank you so much. Wonderful. Right. So we should have a proper, labs. Now, there are certain suggestions, given here. Yes, virtual lab is also there. In case if you are talking about virtual lab, I'll add on here AR and VR lab, that is augmented reality lab and virtual reality lab. So these are the two labs which most of the schools now they have started. Right. Anyways, so we can have some suggestions here. So, equipping libraries with a separate reference section. So generally, most of the libraries, they have got a reference section. For example, literature, for example, fiction, storybooks. So all those sections can be separate. So, this is something which is advisable here. Although every library is, separated like this only, but this is advisable. Second thing is that considering constrained equipment utilization, collaboration, and safety, etc., can be taken care of. The laboratories can be used as innovation centers to build 21st century skills to the learners. So as I said that, these are not just to experiment on whatever is written there in the book, right? These labs are to be the research centers with the additional content. And I don't want to extend it, but I'll give you 2 words. Please explore these 2 words and talk to your children. They'll be really very happy. First, the topic is graphene. Please explore about graphene, right? And ask the children to explore. You also explore and ask the children to explore more. And the second one is, material. I'm talking about science. Graphene. So graphene, you can, write on Google and you'll get it. And the second material is Wolverine cloth. So second material is Wolverine cloth. Again, I repeat, graphene and Wolverine cloth. So these are the 2, things. So why I'm going out of, this, the topic. The topic is very, very clear that, we need to, create the innovators. We do not want the followers. We want to create the innovators. And that is what is the recommendation of the education policy also. Let's move on to the next slide. Let's move on to the next slide. Yes, right. Thank you. So this is IT, ICT facilities for admin and education. So why for admin? So, what basically is ICT? Is it IT or ICT? Yes, now it is termed as ICT. So ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. That is basically referring to the computer, to the internet. Yes, thank you so much, Neeta. Thank you so much, Miss Suja. Right. So, it basically talks about internet. It basically talks about information sharing and communication. So when we talk about, ICT, it talks about the digital devices and the, system to connect all these digital devices together. So what is important? Why it is important? So it is important to access, to give access to the computers and, ICT facilities provides, support to both. Yes, thank you. Information and communication technology. Thank you so much. Right, Miss Seema. Right, thank you. And education activities providing essential tools for modern computer environment. And as I said that after COVID, it is really, really important for all the schools to have the ICT environment, because without ICT environment, now the schools cannot sustain. Let's move on to the suggestions. Few suggestions. So we should be having a good computers, we should be having the updated computers. Most of the schools are now like they'll be having the free and open Wi-Fi system. So there should be a cloud based storage systems. So all these are the suggestions where you can create your records. artificial intelligence, our Atal Tinkering Lab. Thank you so very much. It's from some school, Vidya Mandir School. Thank you so very much. Wonderful. Right. Please move on to the next slide. Okay, so here we have got activity rooms for arts. So I would say here that, as art integration is an integral part. So, any kind of art is not only confined to, drawing something, right? It is not only confined. So art, when we talk about the art talks about the painting, it talks about the sculpture, it talks about architectural, structures, it talks about cinema, it talks about theater, that is performing arts, it talks about music, instrument, sound engineering, textile arts, photography, anything. So whatever the school is providing, please make sure that proper infrastructure, proper rooms should be available for those art activities. So art, I have given so many forms, all these forms, right? Any of these forms, or all of these forms can be included, right? Yes, absolutely. So, here are a couple of suggestions, given here. So creating opportunities for the students to exhibit, work in public art galleries and community spaces. One more addition I would say here, that in new education policy, they talk about four should be the projection of projection and reflection of the children work. So this is what is the recommendation of new education policy, and this is also, one evidence you can always create. We have got designate an innovation center that focuses on entrepreneurial projects made by the students. Very, very important. And I would say that in case if you have not done it, please do school innovation program by Ministry of Education, and this will be really, really helpful. So please make sure that create an innovation cell. It is not confined right from maybe 9 to 2:30 or 9 to 3. It is not confined to that, right? It is beyond the learning hours. And what we say that total 6 to 8 hours we spend generally in the school, if I talk about the day school or day boarding school. Or maybe including the boarding school. So, in the school premises, we generally stay for 6 to 8 hours approx. And I tell you that, these all facilities are really, really very important, because this helps in all teaching learning process. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, now principal's office, staff room, and administrative office, these are very, very important areas. Even during the affiliation, these areas are given a little more importance. Why? Because the educators, the education head, and the people, those who are supporting the education environment, I'm talking about the administrative team. So they require a space where they can sit, they can they can sit and they can manage everything. That is, the school operations can be managed from this particular area. So principal room is very, very important, because most of the strategies, most of the planning happens in the principal office. And the staff room is very important, where the teachers, they sit together and they discuss about the growth of the children, mark sheet, they prepare the mark sheet, they talk about the innovative things happening. And in most of the schools, including all our schools, where I'm heading, almost 16 plus schools. So, all in my schools, we share best practices among each other. So these all things, should happen. That is what is a, requirement of a principal office, staff room, and administrative office. Yes, we can have here a couple of suggestions. So these suggestions are dedicated spaces, can be allocated for brainstorming sessions. I do not know, but one more thing is there, where the CBSE has given a circular that anger-free room should also be there in the admin area. If somebody is angry, the person should be sent there, right? Anyways, so I would say here that one more suggestion I'll take from here. Task management software to track and prioritize administrative tasks can be utilized. So I would say that most of the schools, they are having the ERP. Yes, counselor's room is again very, very important. I'm sure that you are taking care of the counseling, and that's a very, very important room in the in the school. So that also comes in sometimes in administrative block, sometimes it is in other area. But in general, if we are talking, so all these rooms are very, very important. And ERP softwares which will help us to prioritize our work, which work is to be done first, or which has come first, which has come second. So all these things are there. And then we'll take the last of our suggestion, that is soundproofing and acoustic enhancements for privacy during sensitive discussions can be included. So we can have one room which can have the acoustic or sound where confidential meetings can happen. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, infirmary and health management facilities. As you are aware, okay, how to make the evidences or record keeping for, yes, I'm actually including in all the slides, including these suggestions, and these suggestions can be incorporated. And I tell you, at the end of the session, I'll tell you what all exactly you need to do and how you need to make the evidences and all right. So infirmary and health management facilities, this is something very, very important, because we have got different areas, children, and we are, this particular area is not basically to give the complete treatment. It is just the primary treatment we need to give. So that is why the infirmary is compulsory in each and every school. Now, what is the importance? Infirmary and health management facilities in the school are vital for providing immediate medical care, promoting students' well-being, and ensuring a safe environment. I'll just, share a small story, as we have got short of time, but, I'll just share a, small story. Just Miss Kirti, can we have some spare time? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It is
all right.
fine.
Sorry?
It is fine, sir.
Yeah, fine. Thank you so much. All right. So, when we talk about, infirmary, so first aid treatment, like, one child was playing football and all of a sudden he fall down and, he broke his hand. This child was brought to infirmary, and we did the primary treatment. His hand was actually straightened with the things available there in the infirmary. And when we reached the hospital, the doctor said, this is really wonderful that the school has given the primary treatment, otherwise the child would have there could have been further injury in the bone, right, or in the ligaments. So this is what basically the primary treatment we need to give to our children. It's not basically for headaches or stomach ache or any kind of bigger disease treatment. Like now, when we talk about the inclusive education, so lots of children, they come along with the different backgrounds of asthma. Sometimes they have got some children, they have got the open heart surgery also to close the hole in the heart. Lots of cases are there. Now the parents know, they are actually very cautious giving the medicine. So infirmary department can take care of this, and infirmary department can call the student on regular intervals and can give the medicine from infirmary, rather than handing over the medicine to the child. This could be really fatal to the child also, and by any chance, in case if anybody else consumes the medicine. So that is also, a troublesome situation. So what all suggestions are there? Yes, there are a couple of suggestions. Integrate telehealth consultant for rapid medical assessment and advice from the healthcare professionals. I would simplify it. I would say that, make a tie-up with some hospital, right, and create a proper evidences that which all hospital you made a tie-up, who is the consulting doctor, what is the qualification of the consulting doctor. So as the question has come, so I'm answering that for this particular standard, you can always keep the record that yes, this is the doctor, this is the hospital, and this is what is the evidence that we are keeping, that in case by any chance anything is there, that we immediately take the child to this particular doctor. So this comes the proper system, and you can create the evidences accordingly. Okay, then we can talk about another suggestion, that is train your staff for the life support effective handling of severe medical emergencies. I already talked about, right? But couple of severe medical emergencies differs actually. Most of the cases, I mean, we do not have to go for the life support system, but yes, if it is needed, somebody should be trained. And almost like most of the schools, they have trained nurses and ayas there, so I think they can take care. If you do not have, you can go for that. So that way you can, or you can train the sports teacher, those who are MED, sorry, MPED. Those teachers can be trained, to give CPR and all. So all those things, I think, these teachers can be given a proper professional training with a certification that yes, they did it. It cannot be verbal. So when we say about evidences cannot be verbal. It has to be written, or it has to be a having the supporting documentation. So I think 2 points we have already discussed. Physical teachers and health instructors can, yes, physical teachers and health instructors can do it, but there should be a proper training. So school should send these teachers for the proper training. Proper training certification courses are available, like how to do the bandage, how to take care of the broken bones and all. So that is how, I mean, it can be taken care. Can we move on to the third next slide? Okay. Water, sanitation facilities, and waste management. Very, very, again, very, very important. See, I won't say that these things, the other points are not important, but this is again very, very important, because these are the basic facilities that everybody looks for. Sorry. So water, so proper water should be there, and if it will be RO water, that will be really good. Otherwise, the proper safe drinking water should be made available for everybody. Sanitation facilities separate for boys and girls should be there, and waste management is something which is very, very important. So can anybody tell me, for waste management, how many types of bins are there? How many type of bins? That means recycle bins or dust bins. Very good. Thank you so much. Wonderful answer. And what is this third bin is for? Can you just tell me? Third bin is for? Oh, 4. Neeta madam, 4. Right. Now the third. So first, bin is for basically, dry. Second one is for the wet waste. Third bin is basically to recycle the e-waste, right? And yes, we can have the 4 bins also, depending on, and there should be a clarity. Color, third bin, color basically goes from violet to red, or to any other, or maybe black. But what happens? Yeah, yes, absolutely, and yes. So, what happens that, we can always have the proper waste management in the school. Now, how this, see, putting in the dustbin is not something which is very important, but yes, to sensitize everybody there in the school that how to use these bins rather than throwing the things here and there, better how to utilize these. So there are a couple of suggestions. A mobile app, generally most of the schools, they have got a mobile app, but the children are not supposed to use the mobile in the school. But now the things are changing. Even the children are supposed to, they're allowed to bring the mobile or iPad or the laptop to the schools. They are allowed. Right. And some of the schools, I know some of the schools, they are in Uttarakhand, Delhi region, some schools there in Bangalore region, some schools in Hyderabad region, they are actually doing their all teaching learning process only on, iPads. So that depends on school to school. But what I would say here, that a mobile application is always available, there. So, this mobile app can be used, for any sanitation issue or water issue or any leakage problem or maintenance, thing is there, so that the school, maintenance department comes into, picture and can do the things, can mend the things as early as possible. Then there could be green roofs, rainwater, rain garden could be there. There could be permissible space to manage, stormwater runoff. Most of the schools, like, even in the affiliation process, there is one clause which talks about rain harvesting system in the school. So lots of these things are there which are which can create a evidence. So please make sure that these things can be done in your school, and take a snap, take a photo, create a write up, and put it as a evidence. Now, one more very important thing that most of the schools, they have got STP plant system. What is that STP? Sewerage treatment plant. So sewerage treatment plant is also there. Then we have got solar energy power generated within the school only for water heating, or maybe for complete electricity system. Now the solar energy is so powerful that most of the school electricity is from the solar energy only. So these are the few suggestions that can be incorporated in the school. Right. Thank you, Ms. Arti. Right. We'll move on to the next. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is furniture. Now, why furniture is important? Furniture has to do something in the classroom or in the teaching learning process. Any furniture can be yeah, we'll take all the questions. We'll take all the questions, right? So, why furniture is important? We have got a case study also. So, why furniture is important? Because furniture in school is crucial for comfort, learning, active learning, and classroom management. Yes, even posture also. Thank you so much. Very good. I mean, Miss Papia, I think this is very, very, good point she has raised, right? For the posture, for physical deformities, furniture is very, very important. And here are a couple of suggestions. Adjustable desk, yes. Cozy sitting, yes. Enhanced learning, thank you so much, Madam Neeta. Wonderful, thank you so much. So adjustable tables and chairs can be promoted, and it can be incorporated in the school system. Furniture with built-in charging stations, in case if yes, collaborative learning also. Absolutely right. So some schools who provide IT infrastructure, and who encourages children also to bring in the IT devices to, or tech devices to the school. So charging stations can be provided under the desk also. All these systems, this furniture is something which should go along with the child ideology, with the school ideology and the child comfort also, both the things, right? Then regular feedbacks from the teachers and students, and generally I'm sure that all the educators, those who are sitting here, they provide the feedback that to the admin people or to the principal, saying that yes, this furniture is actually too big for grade 2, so please get another furniture with a short height, right? All these things are all there. So these are really the suggestions from our side regarding the furniture. All right, next slide. Okay, so here we will discuss Sonu ki samasya, and it is not Sonu ki samasya, it's like samasya of all children, right? Most of the children, and we need to solve this with lots of empathy and sympathy. And so here is the samasya, and I think you can see what is this samasya. So this let's talk about this Sonu. Sonu is an active girl with bright eyes and short height, right? Favorite of all. She's promoted to grade 3 and excited to attend the classes in the new wing of school. However, just after a few days, the teacher noticed that she has become inattentive and disrespectful towards the teachers, right? She doesn't stand up to wish the teacher, neither does she complete her work on time. Can you guess what could be the problem? She has made to sit at the back. Okay, nice answer. The principal of Sugarpur. Okay, Miss Meenu, unable to sit due to height. Wonderful. Thank you. I think we are basically the educators, and we think empathetically towards our children. And here comes the answer. Please move on to the next slide. So here comes the answer. Yes, absolutely, as you rightly said. Yes, you rightly said. So sorry. So we need to do the gap analysis, and the gap here comes the new wing, new furniture, right? Exciting, Now the problem is her legs doesn't reach the ground, so she is not able to get up very frequently as the teacher walks in and walks out. She is too young to comprehend the problem, and that is how generally what happens now, as we all know, that if the children they are not able to comprehend the problem, they retaliate in a different way. They show their anger, they show tantrums, they show different things. So what comes the reflection here? The reflection is the furniture is not appropriate. Rather than directly going to the child behavior, let's find out, right? These gaps could also be the problem. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, Mr. Deepak, absolutely. Yeah, Miss Meenu, she is happy after that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So the solution is that school furniture policy should be according to the need of students. And now most of the schools, they have started working on it and they have got different size of furnitures, right? Then action, get the age appropriate furniture for the children. Right. So this is the gap analysis. So this is how we need to do the gap analysis. And then, we need to, solve it as per the existing problem. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Very, very important. This is lighting and ventilation. So while lighting and ventilation is important, because see, generally what happens that a couple of schools, rather I would say that most of the good schools, most of the international schools, most of the global schools, they are not within the city, they are out of the city, and they always boast on, yes, we have got a proper learning environment, it's lush green campus, and then proper ventilated and light, proper light is there in the classrooms. Why? Because a fresh air has to be there in the classroom, and the air should be properly ventilated, because in case if proper light is not there, there will be more of strain on the eyes, and focus will, yes, they'll get defocused. Yes. So these things are important for positive environment, Dr. Anu, right? Very, very rightly said. And ventilation is for maintaining the air quality. Nowadays, most of the schools, we have our air conditioned. But I would say here, I mean, I will not put up any statement that we should be having the ACs in the classrooms or not. But yes, yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Miss Minu. So, but I would say here that proper ventilation should be there. So sometimes even the light also goes. Sometimes there is a genset failure also. Lots of things are there. So classroom should be proper, spacious, and it should not be creating suffocating environment within the class. What are the focuses here? So here is some technical suggestion. Right. So the technical suggestion comes in here. Yes, lush green campus. Absolutely, Mr. Deepak. So windows facing south can give maximum sunlight. Oh, that's a technical suggestion. So this we can take. Then we can have exhaust fan are a valuable tool for schools to maintain proper ventilation within the classrooms. I think the classrooms with AC, without AC should have the exhaust also, right? I personally recommend this, because we have faced so much of yes. Broad windows and broad doors, Mr. Vidya. Yeah, sorry, from Vidya Mandir School. Yeah. So, then openable windows, are a natural and effective way to promote ventilation in classrooms, brightening, in bringing fresh air. So, this is something again very important, that, we should be having broad windows so that maximum air can come in and go out. All right. One question, I have got here. So how would you rate the air quality in your school? Unbiased and honest answer. I'll be looking for an honest answer. Please put your answer there in the chat box. Right. A, pretty good. B, just okay. C, could be improved. Please put an honest answer. All right. Wonderful. 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 Thank you for such an active audience. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Right. Thank you so much. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, eco-friendly orientation and integrating of organic living in curriculum. See, basically, it's very difficult to understand, but I'll make it very easy for you that it talks about, integrating nature along with our education. So it is all talking about integrating nature, right? And environmental studies is something very, very important nowadays. Environmental, so many environmental hazards are there. And in international curriculum, we have got global perspectives to understand this thing. That is how it is very, very important, and it basically incorporates eco-friendly and organic living into school curriculum, instill sustainable habits. So here are couple of examples, suggestions that we have given. So go for the green building certification, that is LEED. Then uh, can be incorporated in the school infrastructure to model eco-friendly practices. Then we can have, I do not have the time, otherwise I would have told you some of the experiments you can do with your children to have the natural bright light. But yes, if I get time, I'll definitely talk about, as we are running short of time. So school gardens, for students to grow organic product and learn sustainable agriculture and nutrition can be created. Yes, absolutely. Gardening, yes, absolutely. Shri Kara, yes, absolutely. So I fully agree with you. Okay, now the question comes: how can we learn about reduce, reuse, recycle, fun and engaging in our, to our students? How do we incorporate? What are the practices? Projects, making them learn by doing, and telling them the hazards associated with the waste material. Yes, making a compost, wonderful idea, wonderful idea. We can have a, if the school premises permits, we can have a compost pit also, right? Thank you so much. We'll move on to the next slide. Okay, safety provisions nowadays. Yes, absolutely, I agree. I fully agree. Yes, switching off fans and lights after use. Absolutely, Miss Papia, right? Sorry, I've got a bad throat. So okay, so why safety provisions are important? Yes, children should be, children are coming to the school, but safety measures are something which is very, very important, and every school takes care of these safety measures. Even the government keeps on circulating circulars regarding the safety measures. So it's very, very important, and it's related with the law also, and lots of laws are there to talk about safety provisions. Okay, for the students, like mobile should not be there. We cannot take the picture along with the with the children and post it on the social media. All cameras all around, lots and lots of things are there. Okay, so a couple of suggestions from my side. I think we can easily understand that lots and lots of cameras are there in the school, and there should be no space left in the school where it is called as blind spot for the children, where the children cannot be tracked except for the washrooms, right? So we can have all proper cameras installed. Fire alarms and drills should be there. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for adding in. So these all things can be incorporated, and proper safety provisions should be taken care. And yes, we have got in our schools, it's compulsory to have the security council. Thank you, Mr. Deepak. Thank you so much. Right, it's very, very important to have the safety council in our school. Even like for women safety and security, we have got one council. Then we for the safety of the teachers also, we have got one council. So we'll not talk in detail about these councils, but everything should be should be at its place, and a proper documentation with a meeting minder should be there with the MOM covered in that file. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Playgrounds and sports facilities. Oh, it's very, 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 very important, because government in the new education policy, they talked about sports integration. Now, when we, yes, maintenance of all records, yes, absolutely. So when we talk about learning disabilities, yes, POXO committee is there, POSH committee is there, all these committees, we all understand. We are, I think we have gone through with this, and all schools have got these committees. It is a compulsion. So yes, all these things can be incorporated. Okay, now when we talk about new education policy, so new education policy, talks about uh, art, sports integration. So we should be having a proper playground, and I mean, all the disabilities. In case if we talk about autism, vision, hearing impairment, cerebral palsy, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, acid attack victims, neuro disorders, language disorders, blindness, multiple disorders, these all can be cured with the sports. So sport, yes, ramp is also important. So sports integration is something which is very, very important part, and we should take care of the sports infrastructure in the school, because it plays a very important role in giving the support in scholastic areas, in major subject areas, major learning subject areas, major scoring subject areas. So a couple of suggestions are there, and yes, it contributes to the overall development of the child, uh, overall well-being of the child. It's not about in, thick, or what. It's all about active. So it makes the child active, and sports. Everybody should I mean, everybody should be involved in activity. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we get a session on holistic report card also. Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, inclusiveness is also there. Yes, absolutely. So what I say basically here, that proper environment and proper space should be there. So like long jump, tic tac toe, indoor sports, outdoor sports, right? Which are you are having listed down, proper create evidence, take a photograph, right? And all those things can be done and kept as a record. Try adding new sports. So can you tell about some new sports? I'll tell you something, some new sports. So some new sports are speedminton, speedball, surfing, softball, climbing, and skateboard. So these are the new sports which are now the part of the schools also. So we can start introducing, yes, separate indoor areas, right, separate outdoor areas, but that concept has now advanced these introduction of these sports also. We'll take one more suggestion here. Make sure that the teachers who is in charge of student playing must have a space to sit and see the entire playground area, that every child is involved in the sports. So this is one suggestion. So I mean, teachers, rather I would say that why to sit, why not to get involved along with the children. I mean, right now also, whenever I get chance and whenever I'm free, I generally go with the children and I play sports with the children. It's very, very good, and it's really like good to mingle with the children and to gain their attention, right? So I think I would recommend that. Okay, we'll move on to the next part. Next slide. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, student can be divided into groups to play with different games, but guided. Please do not, please make sure that they should not be unguided. There should be a guide, proper guidance. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Miss Suja. Thank you so much. So, when we talk about hostels, so, this is one area. In case if your school is, not with the hostel, then, you can leave this area. Otherwise, you need to attempt this area. So this area talks about school, so 2.10.1 to 2.10.5. So total 5 points are there. First, point talks about living environment in the rooms. Proper spaces are there or not, beds are proper or not. Then second, it talks about the proper cleanliness of kitchen areas, dining areas, and the separate areas. We have got a recreation areas also. Emphasis on cleanliness and hygiene in whole of the hostel or the residential area. Then safety and security measures are in place. All those fire systems, and then safety and security, locking, proper lights off, proper light on, right? All those, and then any child should not run from the school campus crossing the boundary wall, all those things, right, are included in. Then we can talk about ensure students' well-being through, yes, pastoral care is something very, very important, because when the children are there in the hostel, they are our children, they are not the children of somebody, they are our children. So pastoral care is something very important. Let's move on to the next slide explaining all these 5 topics. Okay, so yes, workshop for students, that is another dimension. I'll talk and we'll take as a discussion, right? We'll take as a discussion. Okay. So, school provides ample rooms, recreation spaces, fostering a comfortable living environment. So, student provides students with a comfortable and conducive environment that supports relaxation, social interaction, and overall well-being. We'll talk, about this thing a little more, right? Because when the children are being given with this environment, and they are supposed to stay in the hostel, so proper environment should be taken care. And there could be a dormitory system with a proper beds, bed sheet, hygiene, everything should be there anyways. So coming to the suggestion, high speed internet connection access can be given to the hostel if it is required, if it is permissible, or maybe there could be a time bound internet connection that can be given to the children, and they can use their digital devices. Honestly speaking, one thing that we, in case if many teachers they come, many principals they come, many teachers they come and they ask, sir, parents are asking, sir, how to take these digital devices from the children's hand, because it's not good for them. Honestly speaking, I don't agree with that we now taking these digital devices from the hands of the children. Now this is the era where we should guide them, we should sensitize them that use it only wherever it is required, just not for the fun sake, using it for more number of hours. So decide number of hours, decide the internet connection, decide which all things. Yes, and innovative projects, absolutely wonderful idea. Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak, thank you so much. Right, so all these things can be done. Then there is another area, that is gym. Some of the schools, they have got gym. Even the the day schools, they also have got the gym. When children, they have got a free time, they can go there. It's not, gym is not there to create bodybuilders there, but gym is there to keep the body tuned, nothing else, right? So it's not for bodybuilding, it's not for weightlifting. Yes, couple of children are, when they are involved in weightlifting or powerlifting, yes, they also require, for endurance development and all, they require the gym. So this can be incorporated. This is a suggestion from our side. One more suggestion I'll take, that options for dormitories, twin sharing or thrice share can be made available. So yes, recreation center for the school to join there. Yes, absolutely, recreation center should be there. With the newspaper, so with the newspaper, TV, TT table, chess, indoor sports, all these things can be made available there. We'll move on to the next slide. Sorry, I'm taking a little more time, because these slides are very, very important, but we are almost closing our slides. So just wait for a couple of minutes and we'll be closing with our all slides, important slides. Yes, right. So separate separate clean kitchen and dining areas. See, because from the kitchen areas, from the from the kitchen areas and the dining areas, lots of waste is there, and then it leads to lots of insect, mosquitoes, flies, right? So these areas should be separate and it should be clean, proper hygiene is to be maintained. Okay, so we'll take some suggestions from here, and these suggestions are that students in the Seva program can be encouraged to contribute meaningfully to the cooking, serving, and cleaning staff on the rotational basis. So this can be done. Then there is another suggestion: student can be encouraged to clean up after they have their meals, or clean the complete area once they are done with that activity. Then Another one more suggestion I can take in here, that effective waste disposal. They should be taught that, where to throw. Yes, absolutely. Social welfare society. Yes, absolutely right. Thank you so much. Right. So efficient waste disposal management should be taught to the children. Where to throw, what kind of garbage or waste is to be thrown in what kind of dustbin, and how to make the school environment and the hostel environment clean, neat, and tidy. Please move on to the next slide. All right. So emphasis on cleanliness and hygiene. So we have all discussed right now, about the importance of cleanliness and hygiene. So this is one standard that you need to be very careful, and you need to create the evidences also. So do you remember the COVID times? How do we used to keep the cleanliness, and used to clean our hands with the with proper soap, or maybe like sanitizer, right? We used to keep the social distancing, all those things, right? So same kind of teaching teaching should be there to all our hostel children for the cleanliness and hygiene, and the benefits of hygiene. So these are the positive habits, and this will keep them healthy. So a couple of suggestions are there. We can have the rooms and common areas can be equipped with the air purifier to maintain clean air. And if by any chance it cannot be done, and if it is not possible, then we can go for the alternative. This is just one suggestion that we are putting in from our side, right? We can always go on with the another ideas. Then I'll take one more suggestion, that is a third suggestion: frequent health and hygiene audits, right, with digital or physical record keeping can be conducted. Yes, for hostels, I think, if I'm not wrong, that we do it once in 3 months, but I would say that once in every month it can be done, so that we'll come to know, and by any chance, in case if anything goes wrong, it can be rectified then and there immediately. So these are a couple of suggestions from our side. We move on to the next slide. Okay, so yes, yeah, safety and security, it is again very, very important, because we need to teach them, because it is very, very important, because it protects the students. It fosters a conducive learning environment, and provides peace of mind for parents and staff, everybody. So mobile, a couple of suggestions from our side: mobile apps for instant communication during emergencies can be utilized. Digital infrastructure against cyber threats can be protected. This is again very, very important, and it's a huge and a very vast topic of one complete day training on cyber safety and security for the hostelites especially, and for the schools also, because in case if we have got a digital infrastructure, yes, there is a threat also that is coming along, so we need to be careful. So these are a couple of suggestions from our side. And one more I'll take, that security can be enhanced with fingerprints or facial recognition for the entry, so that no other person other than the authorized person of the school can enter the school premises and be harmful to our children. Right, please, next slide. Okay, so this is the fifth part, ensuring children well-being through comprehensive pastoral care. So pastoral care we have already discussed, and I said that these children are our children when they come here. So the parents, they leave their children, they hand over their children with lots of trust, and so we need to keep that trust, and we need to extend. We need to be ensuring that the children well-being is to be taken care properly. Not only well-being, but mental well-being and heartfulness can be taken care of. So a couple of suggestions from our side. Our side is like regular workshops and session can be arranged for the mental health and well-being. CBSE is already doing it for the teachers. Teachers, please make sure to attend it and to do it for your wonderful children, because these children are the future of our nation. Each access can be ensured to ensure to train counselors for all students. So there should be a trained counselor in every school, and I think these things can be well taken care of on time, right? And sometimes in case if it is not taken care, some children, they go for the suicide also, or the other cases are also observed. So that is what, this is very, very important, and CBSE is ensuring that we take care of all these things, right? Please go on to the next one. Next slide, please. All right. So coming on to again the subdomain. So this talks about the school canteen. If you are having school canteen, so why school canteen is important? Because sometimes children, they do not bring the food. Teachers also sometimes they do not bring the food out of so many things. So school canteen, in case if you have got, it should be neat, tidy, and safe. And I would add in here one more thing, that all those kind of food should not be served which is harmful to the children, and we term it as what? Please write in the chat box. The food which is not good for the health of the children, what do we term it as? Please write in the chat box. Junk food. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Miss Papia, Miss Neeta, thank you so much. Wonderful. So this is junk food, right? So a couple of suggestions from our side will be, student feedback can be collected on regular basis so that we can ensure that the proper quality is maintained of the food, and eco-friendly recycling system should be there, right? And eco-friendly packing should be there, so that it will go at the right place in the recycle. So these are a couple of suggestions from our side. Please make sure not to use the plastic. There is another suggestion from our side, or almost like all those packed food where the plastic is being used, so we should discourage it. We should go for a fresh, hygienic food. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. All right, transportation and escort facility. So when we talk about transportation, it talks about whether own transportation, whether our school transportation, or any other mode of transportation. We should sensitize our parents on the traffic rules and safety and security on the transportation. Sometimes you must have seen that in one vehicle, many children they come and they exceed double or thrice the capacity of the vehicle. So I think these could pose a serious security threat to our children. So we need to take care. This thing also very very important, and enhance student safety, increase school accessibility for the students, reduce absenteeism, build trust among parents regarding their children daily commute. So a couple of suggestions from our side. Periodic safety inspections to all the vehicles can be done. We can always have a attendance system in our school buses. We can always have clear emergency procedures for transport issues can be developed and practiced, like what is to be done in the emergency situation. So these are the suggestions from our side on transport and escort facility. Escort facility, I would add in here that now most, yes, absolutely, CCTV is there, then GPS system is important. Yes, thank you so much, Miss Suja. Right, GPS system is also very important. Then other than that, we have got the audio system also, along with the video. So video is without audio. Now most of the schools, they are going with the audio and video, both camera systems, right? And when we talk about capacity, so government has made it compulsory to have one ayah, right, along with the buses, along with the children. So this is, yes, absolutely. Fire extinguisher is also important. Yes, absolutely. Attendant is there, right? And lady attendant is compulsory, in the school buses. Yes, thank you so much. Wonderful. All active audience is here. I'm so blessed today. Anyways, we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so here comes the question answer session. Although we have exceeded our time limit, so sorry for that, because this topic was so interesting, and we had wonderful audience here. So now here comes the question answer session. You can post your questions in the chat box, and I'll make sure to answer each and every question, and then we'll move ahead, because our presentation is furthermore of just 2 minutes after this, after answering all the questions.
Okay, so should I read the questions for you?
Please.
I have noted them.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So Mr. Deepak were asking, is SQL the elementary part of SQO?
Yeah, so I would say here that, see, when we talk about NEP, NCRF, NCF, right, and SQAAF, these are all interwoven. And when we talk about SAFL is basically like, the intention of SAFL is basically to check the students, to create a checkpoint. But I would say here that, when we talk about the IT infrastructure of the school, so without IT infrastructure, it's clearly not possible. It's clearly not possible to have the SAFL examination, and that is what SAFL inspectors are coming to the schools. They are installing the software, they are checking the IT infrastructure of the school. So yes, it is very, very important, and I would not say directly, but yes, indirectly it is again a very, very integral part of SQAAF. But I would not say that it is included in this thing, because SAFL is something different. But yes, IT infrastructure is required. And I tell you honestly, one answer that will resolve all the questions, that any kind of thing CBSE is coming with, that I'm 100% sure that the SQAAF will be having one or the two domains or subdomains or standards, which will cater, because it is basically talking about quality. We are here to talk about quality, and quality can only be ensured in SQAAF. This is only one area where quality can be ensured. So yes.
Okay, so can we take other questions in the final concluding Q&A session? I think we should move further with the presentation.
Okay. Yeah. So any other question? No.
Yeah, there are.
One question we'll take. One more.
Okay.
Anyway.
Miss Aparna Ghosh Roy were asking, it takes almost 4 years, 4 days to complete a lesson, because I include some activities, some peer discussion, some student made answer also. So it takes me a lot of time to finish my lesson. Please help me in this.
Oh, this is something out of SQA. So I cannot help you. I do not know, but you can connect, some other time, and I'll definitely help you out. But this session is not basically related with SQA, so I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question.
Okay, should we continue with the next question?
Yes, yes. One more
Okay.
question. Yes.
Mr. Tarun Arora were asking, we did start Shuffle this year, but due to technical issues, I don't want to continue Shuffle this year. That's why I didn't conduct mock test. Kindly guide me about it.
Okay, so this is again like not the part of SQA, but just to help, I would say here that if you are not ready, so by now I think you can go again to the website and you can say that this year we are not going to conduct. There is yes or no. You can always do that, right? So you can select no, and this year you will be relieved. But next year onwards, it is compulsory to have. So I think we'll move on to the next, part of our presentation, right?
Okay.
Yeah, one question has come just now. Can you suggest how many records register can be maintained? Very good question, and I would definitely would like to answer this question. Sorry for extending it a little more, but yes, this is important. So we can always go ahead with the creating domain-wise register and creating the evidences. So we need to take out a printout and we need to create the evidences as per our discussion, and keep on filing these evidences in the register. So there is a SQA committee also. So please make sure that SQA committee or any other support you will be needing, I'll help you out in the other slide. But I'll read, first I'll complete with the conclusion. So here comes the conclusion, and I'm concluding my webinar today, saying that beyond textbooks, strong infrastructure is the backbone of education, because without infrastructure, it is very, very difficult to create a safe environment, healthy environment, and conducive environment for the teaching learning process. So this is very, very important. And so infrastructure is a backbone. Like as we have got a complete body, and if I talk really about the infrastructure, it is the backbone. It is exactly like a spinal cord, as we have got in in our body. So investing in above improvement creates a bright future for both students and educators. So that is really, really important. Okay. Next part. Yeah. So, yeah, next part. Next slide, please. Okay. All right. So SQA is so many questions will be there at the end of the session. SQA, right? So thank you so much, Madam Principal from Woodbury. Okay, right. SQA is mandatory. Why it is mandatory? Because we need to check whatever we are doing. Until there is a cross-check system, we cannot say that we are doing a quality work, right? So who is this for? All CBSE schools, right? The question is when to submit. 1st April to 31st December every year we need to submit. Where to submit? On a SQAAF portal, right? So write in the Google SQAAF and you'll get into the SQAAF portal. How to log in? You can log in with the same ID as of LOC. So your LOC user ID and password, you can always log in. What to submit? Documents along with the evidences you need to submit. So what all documents you need to submit? Right? Institutional planning policy, timetables, safety and procedure policy, building plan policy, mentoring, monitoring and reviewing practices. Uh, yes, yeah, Mr. Deepak, LOC credentials you can log in. Yes. Then evidences, what all we need to create. So this please make a jot of it. Stock registers are to be maintained. Then log books can be maintained. Then digital resources and usage can be maintained. Maintenance records can be maintained as evidence, and holistic health cards can be maintained as a record. Let's move on to the next slide. All right, so this is a CBSE circular. I'll take just few seconds to explain the CBSE circular. It is mandatory for everybody, and please go through with the SQAAF policy papers, and make sure that you read it before filling, and one by one you can start filling, and once you submit it finally, you will not be able to edit it. So it is compulsory to have the SQAAF all domains, subdomains and standards filled, and slowly and gradually every year the scores may increase, right? Please next slide, please. Okay, so here, how Luneblaze can assist. So this is one very important area. In case if you find it really good, and in case if you are finding it difficult to, complete with the SQAAF, please connect back. And Luneblaze provides an end-to-end solution for accreditation along with our SaaS, that is software as a service solution to organize and manage data related to accreditation, helping schools automate SQA filling. One thing is there that this is very, very interesting, that the Luneblaze is already associated with 100+ schools and increasing. So this is one wonderful part, and this comes out of years of experience, 8 years of intensive experience in accreditation. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so you can see the contact numbers also right below. You can yeah, so you can connect back, and yes, Madam Rashmi, you can connect back, right? We'll be very happy to help you. So what do we help? Basically we help in data creation, collaborative workflow, 24/7 consultancy support, regular data maintenance, data security and safety, and analyze and improve. So these are the areas we help in SQAAF. All right. Please move on to the next one. All right. So these are, the wonderful schools which are associated, and these are fever schools. 100 plus is practically not possible to put in here. So only fever schools are shown here. But yes, these are well-known, renowned schools. All right. We'll move on to the next. Anything you have got a technical query, I mean, you can always, ask. Now you can, Madam, I would request Ms. Kirti to, make all the microphones unmute, right? So that they can ask the questions. Anything related with, else we are all through with, and we would, move on to the next slide, Madam. Can you please move on to the next slide?
So can I read out the questions for you?
Okay, fine. That goes fine.
Okay. So Miss Subhashini Haridas were asking, please take a page of subdomains as sample and give tick marks so that we can have a clarity as how to fill or confirm whether we are doing it right.
Absolutely, this is a wonderful thing. So you can do one thing. You can take the, I would suggest here that please take the SQA user ID password from the concerned people. Take the permission from the principals of the school, and you can log in, or the principal of the school can, take a, printout of all the domains, subdomains, and standards. So this will help you understand. Please make sure that all 7 domains do not take a printout all together at one time. It will confuse you. So take printout domain wise, and read it, and in case if anything is there, right, reach back us.
Okay, so there is a participant with name Principal Cholapur. He or maybe she is asking, please guide us how to make evidence or record keeping for CBSE.
Okay, so as I already said during the session that we have given a couple of suggestions, right, along with the standards and subdomain. So what is to be done that if you are doing it, you need to create the evidences for it. For example, if we talk about library, I'm just taking randomly one example, or in case if we are talking about sports. So sports, which all areas are there? So in one paper, we can always have yes. Madam Kruti, I think if I'm not wrong, she's writing that inspection is there. Yes, SQAAF inspection has already started of all the schools. So please make sure that this is to be ready. These all evidences and records are to be ready. So what I basically say here, that all these one by one sports ground, like how much is the area, how much is the width, how much is, like for example, if you are offering three, I'm just taking 3 sports: football ground, basketball ground, and swimming pool. So you need to be having the details of which all areas, and what is the area into length, into breadth, into depth in case of swimming pool, right? What is the height, what is the depth, how many instructors are there for that? So is there a proper procedure, is there a proper system, and how do you basically ensure that there is a excellence achieved in a particular sport? What all are the policies? You start up with warm up and all those things, and then you can take a printout and a photograph, and you can put it in the support that yes, this is how what we do. So this is how we create the evidences. This is just one example I have given. You can connect back to us as the time is already up. So I think, we cannot take more questions, or we take some questions, whatever you say. Is Kirti?
So there are not any more questions.
All right. So can we move on to the next slide?
Sure, sir, we can.
All right, so we have already covered, like, in the month of April. So Luneblaze is basically conducting these sessions. So in the month of April, we have already conducted, and July, we have taken domain 2. August, domain 3 will be there, that is on HR. So, slowly and gradually, we'll cover all 7 domains. Please stay tuned with us every month, I think. Yes, month by month. Yes, and next slide, please. I'm sure this is the most awaited slide, but very important one, right? Because it contains the email ID and phone number. So thank you, Mr. Amritpal. Sorry, Miss Amritpal Kaur. Thank you so much for writing. So this is the last slide, and thank you so much, Mr. Deepak, Girija, Miss Gauri, Suman, Sumita, Rupinder, Abhishek Kumar, my name only, Sri Purna, Shaili, Papia, Meenu, Komal, Neelu, Sneha, Sunita. Thank you so much for being wonderful audience. And we extended our topic from 1 hour to approx 1 hour 30 minutes, because we started a bit late. But yes, it was a fruitful session. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Eve?
Thank you so much, Dr. Abhishek, for leading this session. We have all learned a lot, and your insights on SQAAF Domain 2 are really very valuable for all of us. A big thank you to all the participants for your active participation and involvement. Your engagement was truly valuable, and it made the session really lively and enhanced. Hope you have found the session informative and all your questions and queries have been answered. We regularly host such sessions on various topics and domains of SQAAF. We would be honored to have you join us for those as well. Before concluding, let me inform that we will send a feedback form in the SQAAF Teachers Association WhatsApp group to receive your valuable thoughts and feedbacks, as we truly believe that your feedback is very valuable to us and will help us in improvising our future sessions as well. Also, the participation certificates will be given based on your responses within one upcoming week. Thank you in advance for your feedback. Thanks a lot, everyone. Best wishes for your journey through SQAAF, especially in Domain 2. We look forward to welcoming you again in the next upcoming webinar. Enjoy your day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.